Yep. Alright everybody, it's 6:30 p.m. Eastern on Friday night here in the beautiful mountain state of West Virginia, and that can mean only one thing. My name is Zachary Evans. I'm sitting in a broom closet in the back of Lost Legion Games and Comics, and we are streaming for you yet another Friday Night Magic standard event. So thanks for joining us. Already into our action, we've got 4 rounds of Swiss tonight, followed by a cut to top 4, not to top 8. And I will go ahead and mention right off the top that probably going to have to cut this broadcast short, as I do have some other commitments later tonight. So I might not get the top 4, but we'll probably get most of the Swiss. Let's quit talking about my weekend schedule and instead talk about the match at hand. On the left, we've got Adam Vickers, who's playing a stock mono black devotion list. And on the right, we've got Old Faithful Garrett Meadows, who's playing a fun homebrew. It is a green-black control deck that uses Farika's Mender, not only as a win condition, but also as a way to recurse some very interesting enchantments, including Quag Sickness, which we just saw, and the Stab Wound that you see up at the top of the screen. So we're into turn 4 here. It looks like Vickers resolving a Thoughtseize, then adding a Pack Rat, which meets a removal spell, and then loading up an Underworld Connections on one of his swamps. Meanwhile, Garrett cycling through some removal spells, now sitting behind a Sylvan Caryatid, as we see Vickers find another copy of Pack Rat. And the Stab Wound takes care of it. So Garrett starts serving in with his Mutavault. That, combined with the damage that Vickers has taken off his own Thoughtseize and Underworld Connections, starting to pose a little bit of a clock. Though Adam's still in a pretty good spot here, especially with main deck Underworld Connections helping him to rebuild resources against the grindy control deck. So a Nightveil Spectre makes an appearance. Adam plays a 3rd untapped land and passes the turn back. And we'll see what Garrett's got. So Garrett's main engine, enchantment-based removal and Farika's Mender, as I mentioned. He also is playing the requisite Planeswalkers in these colors. He's playing some number of Vraska, some number of Liliana of the Dark Realms. And as we see, main win condition, Desecration Demon, good in every deck it's played in. So Adam's going to draw a card off of his connections, and the end of turn is going to Devour Flesh. Or he's going to do this in response to the demon, I imagine, with it on the stack. Though I don't think it really matters. In fact, if you want to give Garrett the opportunity to sack the demon, you might as well give it to him, I figure. So 4 mana for a Desecration Demon of his own. And then just passing back here. So Garrett looking for some removal here. Needs a way of getting rid of that Desecration Demon. His Mutavault, should he wish to throw it under the bus, could do that, or we can just cast a Vraska and kill the Desecration Demon outright, which is what he does. We're going to announce the Desecration Demon trigger and just serve in, putting Adam down to 7 and dead on board as it stands with Mutavault backup. Let's see what Vickers can come up with here. It's going to serve in, take out the Vraska, so no card advantage off the Spectre. Spectre really good in this matchup, as it's more than likely that Adam's going to be able to cast whatever card he reveals off the Spectre, and most of the cards that he can cast are going to be very good. And here's a huge swing. Grey Merchant of Asphodel shows up, 7-point swing each way, sending Adam back up to a much more respectable 14 life, giving him more pressure as well. and possibly giving him a creature to sack to the Desecration Demon trigger. Adam's going to draw a card before the damage is dealt. Can't find an answer, so he's just going to take 6 back down to 7 here. We see another Underworld Connection in his hand. Is that another copy of Desecration Demon, maybe? Grabs a forest off the Spectre trigger, deciding what he wants to follow that up with. Another Gary? It is in fact another Gray Merchant. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Puts Garrett all the way down to 3. Put Adam up to 18, so Adam goes from dead on board to Gray Merchants later. He's got Garrett dead on board. Well, not necessarily dead on board, as Garrett can effectively chump with his Mutavault. So there's another Caryatid, which is does an excellent job of blocking the Gray Merchants. But he is on a 2-turn clock, I should say, from the Night Veil Spectre. As none of Garrett's creatures fly, other than the one that Adam's going to be able to tap down at will. So Garrett serves in with the demon, puts Adam back down to 12. Adam's life total seesawing up and down. He draws off the top another swamp. He's going to play Garrett's Forest off the Spectre for the turn. He's going to pay a life to draw a card before combat here. Nope, going to draw 2 cards off of his double Underworld Connections. A lot of swamps in his hand. And he's going to serve in with everything here. Garrett's going to go down to 1. And, oh wow, revealing a Liliana of the Dark Realms off of the Spectre. So Adam likely to play that. He can go ahead and use the -3 to outright kill the Desecration Demon. And that's exactly what he does. Garrett in quite a spot here. Now he does play Gaze of Granite, but Gaze only good for 3 here. Would not answer the Gray Merchants. No, I apologize. I'm discounting for the Sylvan Caryatids that he had and also add to his mana. So he does in fact either draw the land he needed. No, he draws the Gaze that time because he played a land tapped. So we're all back to square one here. All permanents in the bin, but Adam up card-wise, as he's drawing a significant number of cards off of 2 copies of Underworld Connections. Garrett draws for the turn. It's a blank. And off the back of a couple Gray Merchants, limited All-Star Gary of Asphodel, getting the job done for the local legend Adam Vickers. And these guys move to the sideboards here for Game 2 in a Round 1 feature match. Guys, I want to thank you guys for checking us out. Let me take this time, like we do every week, to thank the fine folks here at Lost Legion Games and Comics in South Charleston, West Virginia, for letting me, well, first and foremost, take up space in their storage room in the back with all my equipment, and more importantly, letting us hijack their FNM and broadcast it to you guys all around the world each and every week as we move into our 16th month of continuous broadcasts. Lost Legions has 4 locations here in West Virginia, so if you're ever in the area driving through one of the 3 major interstates that go right by the store, make sure to stop in. Good people, good prices, and who knows, you might be an internet sensation. Also want to thank the fine folks at inkedplaymats.com. As you see the luxurious custom double playmat that they hooked us up with. So head over to inkedplaymats.com for your own customized single and double playmats, as well as awesome dice bags and regular playmats with interesting art, starting as low as $10. And as I say each and every week, they in no way compensate me for that. The reason I feel like advertising for them each week is because they're good people, they're amazing to work with, and their products are of very high quality. So if you do go over there, make sure you let them know we sent you. And then finally, I don't have it up there, but don't forget our fine friends at affinityforcards.com. Obviously, we encourage you to support your local game store, whether it's here at Lost Legion or at your local gaming affiliate. But we all know there's things you can't find for Modern, Legacy, and Commander decks. And when that's the case, head over to our friends at affinityforcards.com and use coupon code LOSTLEGION, all one word, and you'll get 5% off your first order. They had, I think 90% of them were mana screwed in one way or the other over the course of the night. So let's hope that that does not repeat itself this week, as Garrett finds 5 he can keep. So a Golgari Guildgate on the play from Garrett meets a turn 1 Thoughtseize, it looks like, which reveals Garrett's hand to be 2 Thoughtseizes and an Overgrown Tomb. Interesting there, he chose to play the Guildgate as opposed to launch the immediate Thoughtseize himself. Adam's hand, Mutavault, Hero's Downfall, 2 Swamps, Nightveil Spectre, and Devour Flesh, and Garrett, seemingly rightfully so, takes the Nightveil Spectre. Adam going to go ahead and play with his cards face up, and like a boss, draws Packrite right off the top. Garrett, not to be outdone, top decks his own Abrupt Decay the turn he needs to. So a couple of crucial top decks keep this game at least interesting. And then Garrett finds a Sylvan Caryatid, plays his 4th land. And a Devour Flesh is going to leave Garrett with no permanents, no non-land permanents, and no cards in hand. Again, mulling to 5 on the play here. Adam snapping his cards on the table like some kind of, I don't even know. I don't know where I'm going with that at all. But Adam does land an Erebos here. We're a long ways from being active, as we know. Garrett Adam only has 1 unknown card in his hand. Looks like a Hero's Downfall, going to take out the Desecration Demon. But the Erebos is, at this point, especially against the control deck, a good source of card advantage, as Adam's life total not nearly as important as it would be against more aggressive decks. So Adam going to start serving in. He does have 2 copies of Mutavault. That might be enough to get there against this awkward draw from Garrett. And there we see Adam start to use his Erebos to draw a card. And he draws another Devour Flesh. I'm going to serve in here with, no, we're going to play a Pack Rat and leave open the activation. So this is pretty brutal for Garrett. He's going to need to find a Gaze of Granite. There is a Desecration Demon. We're going to make a Pack Rat token here. Interesting article this week on Star City from Hall of Famer Zvi Mauschwitz about Pack Rat, and he suggests the following strategy. Just make a rat every turn. Don't think about it, just make a rat every turn. It's very rarely the wrong thing to do. So rather than sack a creature, Adam's just going to cast the Devour Flesh we know is in his hand. He's going to activate a Mutavault, which just happens to be a rat as well, and attack in for 9 here. And he's going to use his last mana to activate his tapped Mutavault, so attacking in for 12. So Garrett dead on board here needs to find a Gaze, and there's a Farika's Mender. You might be asking yourself what that card is. It's a 5-drop. I believe it's a 4/3, and when it comes into play, you can raise dead a creature or an enchantment. And that is the fun part of Garrett's deck, which is to rebuy his removal, which is Quag Sickness and Stab Wound, or his win conditions, which is Desecration Demon. Unfortunately, Pack Rat is not the kind of threat that can be answered easily by a one-off enchantment-based removal spell, or even an engine that rebuys it. 5 mana for a Gary here. Does that turn on Erebos? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That will turn on Erebos. They'll also drop Garrett to 4. Send Adam up to 21. We can activate one of our Mutavaults serve in with 3/3 pack rats. And I think that's going to be enough here. Can't attack with the Golgari here. We block the Erebos, activate the Mutavault, and that's enough. It would have been enough otherwise, to be perfectly honest. So Garrett with a fun deck. I'm trying to have a little bit of a good time here tonight. Opting off of Esper Control, which he played last week, moving into a fun homebrew, but unfortunately, Variance gets the better part of him there as a mold of 5. Made that game slightly less competitive than it might have been otherwise, but such are the breaks. That's why we play the games.